I have 4 of the young people who showed interest in sharing their ideas, which we really would like to do on an ongoing basis. So there's one more missing person who said he would be, and I know it's a boy, okay, he said he is willing, but I don't see him. Well, if he comes later, we will welcome him. And the format that we will have today is a kind of an interview. I will be asking each one of the girls and boys to make an opening statement, to say anything they want to say for about 5 minutes, and then I will get them going. I'll be asking them questions. I will be cornering them, you know, in a place, and they will find that they cannot get out of it, because that's how things will get exciting, inshallah. And you may ask as well if you have any questions for them. I want you to do that. So are we ready, inshallah, for that?
Yes.
Do you like that?
Yes.
You don't like that, okay. Before we start, I remember, I don't know, maybe I'm mistaken, but I remember last week I asked questions about things that appeared on the video clip, and there were 5 people who gave correct answers. 5. Now don't, I'm gonna ask to raise your hand, so I want to see 5 hands only, not 20. Okay, so if you answered a question correctly, I want you to come and make a line. I want 5 only. Those 5 who answered. Okay, come on. If you answered correctly, so I see 2 only. 2 only. Oh, the 3 are in the school, so we will give them their gifts in the school. First of all, do you like Popeyes? You do? Do you? What do you like about it? Oh, he likes chicken. It is all about chicken. So you like taste, you like everything. So you would like to go and have a free meal at Popeyes?
Wow.
No, you didn't answer. So you can have your seat back if you don't want. Do you? You don't know? Yes. Do you like Popeyes?
I haven't tasted it.
Would you like to taste it? It's halal chicken. Would you like to taste it? Inshallah. Okay. Now, first of all, I want you to turn to your left. Okay. See that bald, see that, my goodness, you know, how shall I put it? See that handsome looking man there? There are many handsome looking men, so everybody is looking at you now. So see that, you know, where Uncle Naji is, you know, just doing this? See that? Okay. He gave you coupons to go to Popeyes, and on top, look what he prepared for you as well. So, are you clapping for this or for Popeyes? For both. Okay. So now I'm going to give you this, okay, and this, and I'll keep the coupons. No, it's yours. What do you say? Wallahi, wallahi, wallahi. You know, I don't know why I felt he's going to say thank you, and I would say to him, how about Jazakallahu khairan? And he cut me off by saying Jazakallahu khairan. Allahu Akbar. What am I supposed to say to you? Wa iyyakum. Allahu Akbar. See, we are, inshallah, going in the right path towards a bright future. So can you, after I say takbir, you say Allahu Akbar? Takbir. Allahu Akbar. MashaAllah. Okay. How about you take this as well? Okay. Don't lose it. Okay? And if I ask questions now, everybody will try to answer. Because from now on, we will have many coupons to Popeyes and have Uncle Amr go broke. We'll make dua for him, inshallah, that he will. You can have your seat back. That's all I'm going to give you. Now, you know what? Can two able bodies take this away from me? Because I don't want to cover myself in front of them, because I want to be able to speak freely to them. So can we move this to the corner? Okay, not you. We can, yes, please. Okay. That's, yeah. Okay, and I want you to arrange your chairs like this so that I can see you, okay, like this, okay, and like this, okay, like this, okay, you can sit, okay, and now I can see you, and do you think I'm that old that if I get tired, I will sit? Jazakallah khair. Okay, now, maybe I can start by sitting, and we all have to start by thanking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for bringing us one more week, inshallah, to be able to benefit from each other and have a plan for our future, your future. But it is my future as well, even though I am older than you a little bit. It's not funny. Do you want to talk today? Do you want to talk?
Sure I do.
So you started the wrong way. Stop laughing, please. Anyway, so inshallah, we are going to talk about the title of today's meeting. After we thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. How do we do it? We start usually by saying Alhamdulillah, wa ashhadu an la ilaha illallah, was-salatu was-salamu ala rasulillah wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa man wala. Then we make a dua that Prophet Musa alayhi salam made before he went to meet with Fir'aun, and not that, we are going to meet with Fir'aun, but it's a beautiful dua. And he said, Rabbi shrah li sadri, wa yassir li amri, wahlul uqdatan min lisani, yafqahu qawli. Oh Allah, expand my chest with ease, and make my task easy, and loosen a knot from my tongue, so that everybody will understand what we have to say. Okay? Now today, we chose to continue talking about social media, and from your end, from your side, from your perspective, you wanted to educate us a little bit more so that we can have a meaningful plan for the future. Already, Uncle Munir and a few other sisters and brothers decided to put a plan of action. But they are waiting for you, the people who will benefit from it the most, to help them. Uncle Munir, do you need their help, or you need their help? Okay, he's saying yes. Okay, Ihab, where is Ihab? Ihab. Do you need their help? Inshallah. Okay, so Naji, do you need their help? Yes, everybody needs you, everybody is going to be listening to what you have to say. So the way we will start is that I know that you have prepared something to say, so I will let you say it. Naji, do you have that microphone so that they can speak from it? Make your statement either standing or sitting, it's up to you. And then after that, I'm going to tell you something, and then we'll ask questions, and we'll have lots of fun, and everybody will participate. So who wants to be first?
I'll go if nobody wants.
If nobody wants, do you want to? He's a little bashful.
I don't mind it.
You don't mind. So you want to be first. Okay.
Yeah.
So why don't you start, inshallah, and you speak for about 5 minutes, and then we will go to one of you.
Okay, so now, just
let us start off with Instagram, or how I love to call it, the wall of fame. When it first came out, everybody was like kind of crazy about how many followers they had, which was pretty interesting to me. And we obviously cannot forget about the celebrities or the influencers who have perfect lives. Now, let's pause here first.
Wait,
Perfect?
is that
Even possible?
I
I think that it's just a huge show. Like, come on. You will not post that fight you had with your parents the other day. Or that test you almost failed. I don't think I would go on with that. But let's face it, and look at the other point of view. There are still some of them out there that are actually good.
They have a
Message. They are simply true influencers. But this still does not solve our main problem. How can we prove it? Or in other words, what is the evidence that we have to support this? Well, that's why we're here today, I guess. Let's analyze it together. When you think about posts, what is usually the first thing that comes on your mind? Anybody?
You know, this is not a monologue. You know,
How many
let's
likes
all
is it gonna get?
participate.
How many likes you gonna get?
Likes, yeah, that's a great one.
Doing comments.
Yes.
Comments, that's a good one.
Yep.
Are you gonna caption your photo to make other
That
people
is so true.
Can you repeat what she said?
The caption that you're gonna attach to the photo.
Okay.
So, I expected that. Likes, shares, pictures, comments, all of these stuff. But would you really think about the impact that this post would have on a person that does not have the facility or the particular thing that you do? I mean, not really. It's just as simple as pressing a button. Now, I had like a little post to share with you guys, so would you allow me?
Absolutely. You still have 3 minutes.
That's great.
MashaAllah. Okay, as she is getting ready, does anybody want to say, oh, you have it with you?
Yeah, I do.
How long do you expect to prepare it?
It's just like a minute.
Are you almost ready?
Yeah.
Yes, okay. So you have a post.
my phone is pretty small, so yeah.
By
I'll
the
try my
way,
best.
you know, I'm sorry, I failed to mention that this is Maryam. You know, usually you say it at the beginning, but it doesn't matter.
So yes. So the caption.
The caption with this post was عالم واحد, one world, يعيش فيه الناس حياتين مختلفتين. People live in it with two different lives. This conflict is trying to kind of show the point of view of a Turkish artist. In my opinion, this is a masterpiece.
This way. Okay, now, do you want me to say what I'm seeing?
Sure, yeah.
Okay, I'm seeing 2 kids running, holding balloons, and one half of the picture is the Eiffel Tower in Paris, and the other side of the picture obviously is from a place where there's destruction, there's war, and both kids are running, and I'm seeing smiles on their faces. So these are the contradictions of life being lived on the same planet. This is what I'm seeing.
What about this one?
Here I'm seeing, again, two sides of the same picture. I'm seeing on the right, a bridge and a forest, a father hugging his son and playing on a guitar, obviously in a happy mood, while on the left I'm seeing a very poor person sitting behind barbed wire, holding a very sad-looking child. So two sides of the same story, a loving father and a loving father, but this is comfortable, this is poor.
That one.
Here, okay, again, there is the front of a yacht where people are going on a cruise or, for a happy outing. And here there are at the end boat people that we heard a lot about, those who drowned in the Mediterranean. Again, contradictions, contradictions, contradictions. Okay, if I would describe it again, the same person through Photoshop, I'm assuming, the same person on the left, she is having a costume of kind of a superhero, and on the left she is dressed in very shabby clothing. The same person.
Sure.
Yes.
I think that this describes it way better than I do. Let's think about it. These are the true influencers. These are the people that we should look up to. I'll let you guys think about it, observe it a little bit, and then we're going to come back.
MashaAllah.
Thank you.
MashaAllah. Now, let us keep on lively and moving. So you introduce yourself and tell us for 5 minutes what you want to tell us.
My name is Hamdi, and when I grew up, when I was younger, I didn't have a phone. I just recently got a phone. And when I was younger, we'd all, me and my brother, would go play and all that stuff. I didn't have this distraction around me. I remember when we were younger, we wouldn't have an Xbox or PS4 like you guys do. We'd go play sports outside, like soccer and stuff like that. And when we had a Wii though, a Wii that was old, we still played on it. It was really fun. But it seemed to break down from September 4th to June 26th, and miraculously it worked again in the summer. And not having a phone until recently really was applied to be able to do many more things. I was able to become the president of my student council in grade 8, and I was able to achieve many more of my goals. This week, I did an experiment. When I came home from school, I'd leave my phone on the desk and leave it there until the next morning. And I realized that I got way better scores on my test, made many more friends, and I was able to play with my brothers more and have much more fun. And it also allowed me to do much more of my homework. It made me feel more free to do more things. And also another topic that I want to talk about is the social media. That whenever someone posts something, it's got many more layers onto it. For example, if I post a picture of myself right now, I'll have to put a layer just to make it look brighter, or some highlights and stuff like that. And then you'd have to put a caption, like she said, make it look nice and all that stuff. And then I'd wait there, looking to see how many people would like the photo. At this stage of my life, I don't really want to occupy myself with these things, because it's just a distraction. A lot of people, they'll get distracted of it and get like really bad marks. I hear at my school, oh, I got this bad mark, I get this bad mark, and I see that all they worry about is their likes, their posts, and their followers. Thank you.
Okay, but you, Hamdi, I want to ask you, you said that you put your phone on your desk and you don't get it until the next morning. Is it you or your parents who really ask you not to hold your phone during, the evening?
Oh no, I do that by myself. It was an experiment because last time that you came, you told me that you said to everyone that if they would leave their phone for entirely, it would
So basically you did that as a result of what we talked about. So you can see that, alhamdulillah, this is working. We hope that we don't just come and listen to a talk and then go home, life as usual. Let's hope, inshallah, that we can interact with that. You said that you didn't get a smartphone or a phone until recently. Did you resent that? Did you tell your parents, but I want to be like everyone else, why don't you get me, a phone?
Yeah, I did. Yeah, I did.
Okay, but I know they are very mean. No, did you capture that on the phone? Okay, so you didn't like that, but then you discovered that it's working. Okay, and you said that you're having more friends, you're playing with your brothers and the rest of the family, you are having fun.
Yeah.
Okay, you're enjoying family life. Okay, now I would like you to pass the microphone to another star here, okay, who will introduce himself and talk for 5 minutes or less.
Brother Munir?
Yes.
Because of the sound going up and down,
Yes.
it's very annoying.
Yes.
Maybe the kids, they can talk without the microphone. Maybe
It's
you can
better.
listen.
Okay, would you like to do that? So speak loud without the, because the microphone here is not that good. Okay, let me see how loud you can talk. Introduce yourself. Give me that.
Hi, my name's Abdullah.
MashaAllah, that's good.
Stand up.
Stand up and so that the camera will capture you. Okay, and people see how handsome you are.
Today I'm going to talk about social media and how it can impact a bunch of people negatively and also positively.
Positively.
The thing is that posts on any social media can, it can either be a selfie, motivational quote, or it can be something Islamic. Like all the time I see people, they post du'as and stuff onto their Facebook accounts, and I surprisingly very rarely see it on Instagram. And for a couple years now, I've gotten phones after phones, and our whole house has been buried in phones, and I've seen that a lot. I had fun with my brothers a lot, and before that, and that after they got their phones, they barely hanged out with me and stuff. But recently, they've been starting to talk to me a lot. They've been starting to hang out and stuff, and they've been talking to me more. And I've actually, my brother once went to a camp without his phone for about a week, and once he came back,
Did he survive? He did.
it was an Islamic camp.
Oh, that's right.
And once he came back, he was very happy with me. He was respecting me a lot, and he was just happy altogether. And that's just the effect that could happen to you if you have your phone. If you have your phone, then it is, as he said, a distraction. If you don't have your phone, then you get to know more of the outside world. But also, you can make people learn more, and like you can teach people. Also, I've had online classes, online Islamic classes. They go on they do an online call, and you like recite Quran, and you memorize Quran, and then you recite it. Or you can also they can also teach tafsir and stuff like that, which can help you read Quran better. And that just shows how social media, which people surround it a lot as like a thing that we shouldn't be that we shouldn't jump into, which I agree, because there are more bad things on social media than there are good. But once you find that good, you'll strive to find more good. So I'm just saying that social media, it can be used as a good thing to derive a message across to other people, and also it could also be used as a bad thing if people choose to.
Good one.
I appreciate that so much. So now it's your turn, so you can hang this somewhere, and let's hear from you. Introduce yourself, and then
So, my name's Haneen. Apparently I'm related to Maryam. I'm her cousin. And I'm 13, she's 14, just saying. So, when I grew up around my iPad. I've gotten it since 2014 now, so it's been exactly 4 years old. But I haven't been on social media quite a lot, except if you count Facebook. It was our craze, like my cousin and I's craze back then. We would make Facebook pages and share, princesses and all the girly stuff like that. It was really quite stupid if we look back at it now. But Instagram, Snapchat, things like that, I didn't really use that much. Even now, it's just, I use it now for kind of looking at pictures from my sports teams. I don't use it that much. And I find every single time someone, my friends and things like that, when they post something, I find comments like hot, pretty, stuff like that. But I don't think the commenters really mean it. They just try to make the person feel good, which I don't really find convincing. I think if you have something nice, it's nice to say, but you have opinions too. Just don't say it, keep it to yourself. Don't don't lie. So now I'm gonna go over to another topic. I have a baby brother. He's 2 years old and 9 months now. He's crazy obsessed about YouTube. He hasn't gotten hooked to YouTube until 1.5 years old, because he would see us, all my family, he would see us on electronics, watching YouTube, going on Facebook, playing games, things like that. And anytime we tried to make him do something, he would refuse unless we tell him, you're gonna watch YouTube. So he would run and do the thing, do the task right away, and then we have no choice but give him the phone. And every time we try to get him to watch something useful, like Quran, cartoons, and TV series and stuff like that, we can't just leave the phone with him, because then he would switch to the videos he likes to watch, which are pretty useless.
he knows how to switch to.
Yes, he is pretty smart for almost a
Yeah, I
year.
remember I used to do that when I was a child.
But recently, my parents bought him a bunch of puzzles, which are quite occupied him for a bit away from the electronics. And he really likes puzzles and he likes putting them together. And I'm really surprised that he knows how to put like crazy hard puzzles for his age, like 24 pieces, and he puts them on and he solves it like in 2 minutes. And I'm really surprised. I just love my big brother, but I don't like him watching YouTube because he goes on useless videos like songs.
Okay, let me ask you. You said that he can solve it just like that. Is it because intelligence is part of his genes, or did he learn some skills from YouTube that benefited him? What do you think is happening?
No, I think it's just part of his genes because on YouTube he just watches useless songs and like the baby shark and the Fager family and these stupid songs. And it's just in his genes. Like, I didn't really solve puzzles when I was young. It's just one day my parents bought him a puzzle set and then he just solved it, kept solving it.
So now he works, he plays with puzzles, he doesn't ask for YouTube.
No, not that much anyways. And whenever he really wants to watch YouTube, we either put it on the TV or we take the device itself and put it kind of away from him. So he watches something useful and do like the tasks like my parents have to force him to eat while watching, so like kind of like multitask.
How about iPad for you?
Well, my parents, it's kind of the house rule now. We don't get electronics unless it's the weekend. And I've like in the past few years, I thought it was quite unfair because most of my friends would have their electronics 24/7 and they would do whatever they want on it without any supervision. And I would think it would be quite unfair that I don't get the same as them. But then recently I found it was for my own sake, to finish my own homework, to explore in my community, to help other people and things like that. And I really like my house rule now. I think electronics are kind of a distraction. And like we would have been better off without them really. I mean, they're kind of useful.
Can I ask you a question? Promise to be honest. I think you're honest. Okay. Does a 13 years old appreciate rules? Aren't rules? I don't know how to describe them.
Yeah, no, sometimes, yeah. Sometimes I don't like my parents' rules, and I don't think my friends like rules as much as well, because they just like hanging out and texting 24/7. Like my friends would go in the washroom in the middle of school just to get out their phone and text their friends.
Is this good?
No,
It's not.
because it would distract their schoolwork. And honestly, some of my friends are getting not so great grades in their own schoolwork.
Can I ask you a question? Do you think that the Board of Education should ban phones from school premises?
Again.
I agree.
Well, it depends.
No, I'm saying, should they, okay? Now, when I hear that kids are going to the washroom to text their friends, I'm very concerned, okay? So I'm asking, would you support, let's say if it ever comes to passing, would you support such a decision?
Well, it depends, because sometimes my teachers let us use our devices for research purposes.
Yes.
And yeah, for like history or science, things like that. But then again, we have our own Chromebooks in our own class, so we can use these too. But then people can goof off and just play online games. They can go online on social media, even though they're not supposed to.
Okay. Thank you so much. And you can keep this with you. We will need it. Okay. Jazakallah khair. I would like to basically ask you yes or no. Do you support to put a limit on devices? Yes or no? Because you are the one who said there are negative impacts and there are positive impacts. So would you support putting a limit on, can we go back to the years when we didn't have them? You know, as Hamdi said that now he tried for a week to put the phone aside, and he now enjoys time with his family. And I'm sure you do the same thing. You said your brother or brothers are, hanging out with you more, and you like that. So, do you support putting a limit?
Yeah.
Okay.
But like not way too much.
Some limit. Okay. What about you, Hamdi?
Okay, yes, it's a limit, but the limit can't be like too much to the extent where you can't even use it if you don't use it. For example,
Can you repeat that?
For example,
So you said you support the limit.
I support the limit, but not to the extent where we don't have enough time to even use it. Like, okay, you get it before bed, but then, so your parents say, okay, you do your homework and all that good stuff, and then, okay, you can use your phone. Oh no, it's too late for bedtime, you can't use your phone. And then the kids just get really upset and go crazy, and like the next day, they keep doing that, and then the kids just get fed up. And, repeat.
Parents can be pains sometimes. Yes.
I think we should be.
Yes.
I think we should be kind of more specific with the kind of limits we should have. So some apps are actually useful in school research and stuff, but others are not as much. So for example, Snapchat maybe. I know tons of people that are actually snapping and they're just really into it and they're using it even in the washroom. That happens a lot, especially in high school. So I think the limits should be more specific on some applications because let's be honest, not every single app out there is bad. Because some apps, the main purpose of them is to just inform you more. And is to
Can you imagine life in the future without these gadgets? Do you think it will ever happen, or it's just we're going in one direction?
Personally, I think that everything is possible as long as we put the actual effort. Because if you're just gonna sit here and just like, for example, speak and say, well, we should do this, we should do that, and then afterwards, boom, you just forget everything and go back to bed and text. Well, no, it doesn't work out like that. We have to put the effort, we have to actually have that kind of passion for creating the change.
Okay. Do you want to add something?
I do agree on the limit, but you can't just, change from your kids have 5 hours to 1 hour a day. It has to go gradually. And there are apps, I've seen ads on YouTube and Google and things like that. I've seen ads that pair monitors. So you could link your device with your kid's device and you would monitor their activity and watch what they're going on. And then you have a timer or a time limit. So then your kid's device would turn off or send a message that, oh, your time limit is done. So you have to wait until next day or things like that.
MashaAllah. Now, if you appreciated what you heard from these luminaries of the future, I want to hear MashaAllah, and the tone of voice of your MashaAllah will tell us how appreciative you are. So, can we say MashaAllah?
MashaAllah.
MashaAllah. So you appreciate it the most. Okay? Now, if you don't find a chair, you can come and sit, right here in front of me. Okay? MashaAllah. Yes, say something.
So, my parents, what they do is that even though I very rarely actually get any schoolwork at all. I mean, especially this year. But I still, even if I do have homework, my parents still give me some Islamic homework. I write some Islamic stuff. I read a couple pages of Quran, and I read and sometimes memorize some hadith. So after I do that, they can give me my phone or something, so I can use it for a couple hours. Then my mom tells me to take a break. I take a break. I eat. I pray. and I like read or something, and then after I go back. So yeah, that's what I.
Did you say couple of hours?
Yeah, but not like not way too long. Like not so long that you like go crazy or something.
8 to 9 hours.
Okay,
probably
okay.
like-
Mariam wants to add something, and then I have to, get to something important.
I think that we actually have the control of either making our usage of social media a disadvantage or an advantage. Now, I personally had an interest in learning Italian, and right now I'm actually taking online kind of courses slash classes that I actually have been to the point that I can actually introduce myself in Italian. How amazing is
Can
this?
you do that?
Okay.
Yes. No, come on. Yes.
Okay. Ciao. So my name is Mariam.
In Italian.
Sono Mariam. Or if you should ask someone about something, can I ask you something? You go up to them and be like, mi scuse, posso farle una domanda?
MashaAllah, that's beautiful.
So somebody would come up to me and be like, bless you.
Okay.
But like, yeah, you can actually learn something new from this. Like, you can recite Quran, I know this for a fact. You can learn a new language. You can gain a new experience. You can actually know someone new that have the same kind of interests you have and build up a good relationship with that person. So you can you have the choice to make it a blessing
Yes.
or a disadvantage.
Allahu Akbar.
You choose.
You know, Mariam, I know a few words in Italian. Do you want me to?
Sure, yeah.
Roma, Milano.
Italia.
About what you said, making new friends online, you can't just trust anyone.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, like they could be a 60-year-old, but then say they're a 12-year-old online. They're like, lies can happen. I've lied myself online, like Facebook. The limit is 13 years old, but I made my account, like my cousin, my oldest cousin made the account for me when I was 7.
Mhm.
I had that too.
Okay.
And like,
Okay.
you can't let anyone follow you because they can see your own private pictures. You have,
Make your account private.
no, I know, but
Okay.
then you can't just let anyone
Yeah,
follow you.
you fight later. Okay. Anyway, this is very, very important, and I want to share with you that maybe it'll take us a few weeks to discuss what I'm going to share with you, because I came across something related to a book that a psychologist by the name of Leonard Sachs wrote. Leonard Sachs wrote a book called, and the title of the book is really alarming. It's called The Collapse of Parenting. Now, I know that when parents are going to hear this title and see what his recommendations are, they will be alarmed, because we are afraid and we are witnessing that the way parenting is being done now is totally different than 10 years ago, 15 years back. The way my father did his parenting on me, my mother did her parenting on me, is different than I'm doing my parenting on my children. Now, what I'm going to do is that I will introduce 1, 2, 3, as long as it takes to comfortably absorb one of his 27 recommendations. And I came to know about this because Leonard Sachs gave a summary of his book at a masjid in Texas. He was invited, he's a Jewish professor, but he was invited to a masjid in Texas, and he spoke about this. And that's how, because I get to, through Facebook to know about these things. And this is what I'm going to start sharing with you, one recommendation at a time. And you will be surprised at some of the things that he said we should be doing. Number one, okay, listen, make your kids, and I want to know your opinion, whether you agree with him or not. Now, it doesn't mean that because he said it, we have to agree. We may say, well, what he said is difficult. Maybe we should do more. He said, number one, make your kids. I don't know the word make. Can we make our kids? Let's see what he said. Make them do what? Make your kids speak your native language at home and with you. So if you happen to speak Urdu back in Pakistan, make your kids speak to you and among each other Urdu. That's what he said. Do you agree? Let's hear this, because we want to move slowly through this. You know how many parents have come to me and they said, we are struggling. When the kids were young, we spoke to them in Arabic, in Urdu, in Swahili, and they were fine. Until they went to school, all of this changed. Because they became more comfortable speaking in English. And there are some who say, what's wrong with that? There are those who say, we should insist that every Muslim child should speak the language of the Quran. Are we doing that? The answer is no, we are not. Okay? Now, you said something. Yes? You speak Arabic Fusha, you said, at home? You know what's Arabic Fusha? It's the proper Arabic, which nobody speaks at home. We all speak the slang Arabic. He said Fusha. Are you sure?
Yes, but my mom and dad speaks Algerian.
They speak Algerian, but they asked you to speak proper Fusha Arabic. You learn from TV, and do you speak that? Do you find it, interesting? Now, who agrees that we should teach our children or make them speak our native tongue at home plus Arabic or minus Arabic? It doesn't matter, If I speak Urdu or I used to speak Urdu, Urdu will suffice. And those who say plus Arabic, and those who say, I really don't care what they speak, as long as they get to know values, their religion properly, it doesn't matter. So we heard what Leonard Sachs recommended. Okay, I want to hear from you what, yes?
I feel like it's a good idea to speak your native language to your children because they're going to learn it and they're not going to be able to grow up in their native country. They're growing up in Canada. So it's like if they know how to speak the language and they go there, they feel more connected.
What if they don't have to go there?
But like if they live here and speak their native language, then they speak to other people from the same country and they feel more connected to them as well.
So speaking the language of our parents will make us feel more connected. That's one opinion, yes.
At home I speak Arabic more often than English.
Good for you. Good for you. She speaks more Arabic than English at home. Okay? Yes.
I think that having the opportunity to be bilingual or trilingual is a blessing that not everybody has.
Love.
So if you have the opportunity, it's good to take it. But I don't like the word make because when you force someone to do something, it takes away of their love for that thing.
Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. Would you be willing if later on, by the way, I love this team and I'm planning to make this team grow because I have an idea one day when I have about 20 of you like this, okay, I have something that I want to do in London, inshallah. Would you be willing to join this team?
Okay.
Because, mashallah, you are bright. She said it's a blessing to be bilingual or trilingual, okay? Because, it's good, but I don't like the word made. Because unless you really like to do it, you will not really do it comfortably, okay? And if we are getting bored, Okay, we may do something, but I'll try to make it as, okay. So thank you very much for what you said. Okay, Uncle Mir. I'm not saying uncle for me, I'm saying uncle for the others.
Yes, they say that the more language the child learns, the more brilliant the child becomes. That's one fact that has been proven. The other thing is there are some languages, like mine, is useless to teach my children because they can only talk to me. They can't talk to the mother because the mother's language is Arabic. So there are some languages that are worthy of learning and some languages are limited use. So in this case, as Muslim, I would prefer my children to be able to speak Arabic.
Okay, so Arabic, you know, can I just say, not because I am of the habit of putting other cultures or faith traditions down, on the contrary, I elevate people who really respect their culture. And in this context, I once gave a Friday khutbah about Hebrew being a sacred language for Jews, not a preferred language, it's a sacred language, meaning that every Jewish person needs to learn and speak Hebrew. Now, and I say to myself, there's nowhere in the Quran that says Arabic is sacred. But we hear many a time through the opening of, let's say, Surah Yusuf, for example, and other places in the Quran where it says Allah sent this Quran in Arabic for a purpose. Okay? So I am of the opinion, how many kids, okay, now I'm starting to get a little bit not too happy with some who are speaking while I'm talking, not because of me, but because when someone is talking out of respect, we should listen, okay? So, how many would vote, and I'm serious, I don't want to have a hand to be raised like this, I want like this when I ask the question. How many would vote that all Muslim kids, it doesn't matter what their parents speak at home, how many would say, we should all learn Arabic? Okay, now I want some brave souls who did not raise their hands when I say, how many really believe that it's not necessary to learn Arabic as long as I learn the essentials of my deen? How many say it's not necessary? Ahmed, can you please tell me? Yes, yes. Because I know you are a brave soul. Okay, why don't you think it's necessary?
Like we said.
Do you want me to have your mother close her ears first?
I think we're on the same page with this.
Oh, okay. So yes.
Like you said, I think as long as you're kind of pulling in everything you need to from the Quran.
Yes.
And I mean, it is in Arabic in the Quran, but there are also English Qurans as well in other languages, and it's all the same information, right?
It's not English Qurans. There's no such thing, but it's the meaning. Translation. Okay. Yes. Yes. Yes.
As long as you have that information, I don't think it matters what language you're speaking. Because there's
You
people
know,
all around
what
the world.
Ahmed said is something that scholars at times say it. We shouldn't be afraid to say, I don't think so, okay? But how many would agree that it doesn't really matter? Okay. Okay. Now, but don't be shy to express yourself. This meeting on Sunday here at the Islamic Center is all about expressing our opinions. So as you can see, the majority feels that learning Arabic, is essential. We really need to. And others say, as long as I learn, what my deen teaches me, it doesn't matter. But let me argue, Ahmed, not because I want to go against you, okay? You know how much I love you and I respect you, but I want to say something. There remains certain things in the Quran that require linguistic knowledge. Unless we have knowledge of Arabic, we will not be able at all to understand them, okay? And you may say, so, what's the fault of Russian Muslims? If they cannot, there's a base for everything, and there are frills. When you go to no frills, you know what's no frills? Okay? So you can understand Islam without the knowledge of Arabic. Do you all agree?
Yeah.
Yes, we can understand Islam without knowledge of Arabic. But if you want to become more and more and more knowledgeable, then Arabic is a plus. So yes.
I actually regret because both my parents speak Arabic, but as a child my father went to university and he was taking a master's in English, and they had always spoken English to me in the household. So I actually regret very much to this day, my command on the Arabic language is very deep, and I resent him for that.
Can I say something to you? I noticed many parents make this mistake, especially immigrants. When they come to this country, they have heavy accent. When they have children born and raised in Canada, and the children start to speak without an accent, without a heavy accent, actually they become very proud. Listen to my son now, how much command he has of the English language. So it becomes a question of pride. Good for you. No, I say you can still have your children speak without your heavy accent, but it's really good to have your children learn Arabic, learn Urdu, learn Turkish, learn Bosnian. So my recommendation, based on the recommendation of Leonard Sachs, I seem to agree with him, it helps because it's our way of keep connecting to our, who said it? To our heritage. You said something that put us firm, on the discussion that we are making. Jazakallah khair. Because we really, I tell you, I'm not worried about your generation. I'm worried about 3 generations from yours. When I'm no longer here, and probably you may be no longer here, how will Muslim Canadians be 3 generations from now? In the year, by the way, 2050, which is not too far from now. We're almost 2020, okay? 30 years from then, how will Muslim Canadians be? Think about it. So this is a recommendation. Now, number 2, listen to this. You will be surprised what he said. Reduce generation gap by involving grandparents in the lives of their children, of your children.
Agree.
And he went further. If possible, try to convince their grandparents to move in with you. Today, try telling your children that we are going to make a room for grandma and grandpa. No! Can you please come with us? We want to visit grandma. I don't have time for, tell me, again, be brave. How many of you, we may not have time to really finish I'll tell you, those 27 points may take us, 52 weeks. Okay? Now, Mariam, I know you came to Canada almost 2 years ago, or less, okay? Now, your opinion may be biased, because I know back in Egypt how, close-knit, Jiddo and data and whatever, but as a new Canadian, would you support having 2 older, stiff minds come and live with you?
Okay.
Where is that?
She's good, I think.
On the chair.
She's always loud.
Would you like to? Would you support that?
Okay. May I first say that I support a
Part of it. So I support that we should reduce the gap. The part that I don't support is grandparents actually moving in with you. Because let's be honest, they would require way more care. You know what I mean? Because they're old, they might get sick, and it's not easy. It's kind of having another two other souls.
I'm going to challenge you.
Sure, yeah. Go ahead. I love challenges.
Who will provide that care for them?
My parents.
Not
And-
you?
Okay.
Is your father here? His mom?
No, it's my mom.
Okay.
That's
Where's mom?
Mom.
Okay. Register that. She's in big trouble. Yes, you're Dave.
She was actually telling me that she's gonna send the video to my grandma.
So now I don't know if you can go to Egypt anymore. You will be banned for life.
I exposed myself to everything. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, now here's the thing. I remember back then when I used to live in Egypt, my grandma was very sick. So let's say 80% of my mom's time was actually dedicated to my grandma, which I was very inspired by because my mom showed me how important parents are. But this, on the other hand, showed me and my siblings, it kind of had that gap between me and my mom because she didn't care.
Mariam, hold this.
Yeah.
She said something brilliant. Okay, and I want mom to be involved if she wants to. In as much as your care for your parents, okay, was something that taught her a lesson, that it's good. She said, I felt your absence at certain times from my life, her life. You know, this is genuine, this is real. I want you to comment on that. You know, would you say, but these are my parents? She will have enough time for me to dedicate to her later on. What would you say to this? If you don't want to answer, it's okay. But I respect that. But if you want to comment on this, it's important. Do you want to hug her? Allah, 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 Allah. I wish that the camera captured this. Yeah, it didn't, you know, it's okay. Well, you know, I saw Maryam go to her mother, kiss her hand and kiss her forehead to tell her, Mama, I mentioned this because I felt it, but I don't want to make you feel bad. But she felt that, and you know what, can I tell you something? My in-laws are both desperately in need of my wife and my presence with them. And I tell you, my children do not go to visit them as often as I want to, but they say, we have our children, we have our lives, but I'm interested in hearing, you know, to what extent do we connect with the grandparents? I really would like you to think about this, come prepared, and the topic, let's call it we will start next week. Naji, are you here? Yes, it will be the challenge of connecting with grandparents. Okay, this is what we will start with next time, but you don't have to justify it, Mariam. You're okay, don't worry, you can go home now.
I just want her to comment on that.
Yeah, she's saying, Mama, please don't give up.
She's going to comment in Arabic and then I'm going to.
Yes, please, okay. So she is explaining to her, you know, because mom feels more comfortable expressing herself in Arabic, and then Maryam will translate, and that will conclude today's session, inshallah.
She said that we lived some memories that we can't go back to anymore.
Okay. Okay. So now grandmother is a memory now. She died some years back, and it's good for the grandchildren to have those pleasant memories of their grandparents. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make us barreen, which is careful to connect with our parents and our grandparents. So let's modify the title, Challenge of Connecting with Parents and Grandparents. So next week we will talk. So come with your stories to tell us about how to be good with or towards our parents and our grandparents. Or you can come and tell us stories about how uncomfortable at certain points you were, so that we can reach a certain conclusion.
She just wanted to add a very final point.
Yes.
One day she didn't have the chance to go and take care of her mom, and due to the lots of work and busy life that she had, one day and I actually remember that, one day she went back home and my grandparents to find out that we, actually her kids, it was us who were taking care of my grandma.
Allahu Akbar. So without
Without
her
her telling
telling
us
you.
anything.
Yes.
Observing the action and then doing what she was doing.
So you learn by action.
Exactly.
MashaAllah. So from this point, we will reconnect next week, inshallah. Okay. Did everybody have fun? Okay. The most important thing is having fun as we learn. Is having fun as we learn. I want to thank Hanan. Is it Haneen? Haneen. What's the difference between Haneen and Hanan?
Hanan is like the mercy of your parents, more like the mother on her kids, and Haneen is kind of like the nostalgia, the
See the knowledge of Arabic? How mashallah, you are right. Hameen, Maryam, Rabiullah, is it? Ubaidullah, not Ubaidullah and Hamdi. Okay, I thank you very much. But now I want to, what's your name? Amani. Okay, now I want Naji to please register the first 5 on the team. Once we reach 20, there's something very special going to happen, inshallah. So please come prepared next week. Tell other, I want to tell you something. The first week and second week, we had more families attending. I know that the chairs are filled, but I'd like more and more coming. And please visit the YouTube channel and register your, it's not again, yes, it's not for me, but we want to reach the world. Say inshallah. Inshallah. And ask people to subscribe, inshallah. Again, the address is Dr.Munir El-Kassem.com. Inshallah. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك نشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت نستغفرك ونتوب إليك والعصر إن الإنسان لفي خسر إلا الذين آمنوا وعملوا الصالحات وتواصوا بالحق وتواصوا بالصبر صدق الله العظيم جزاكم الله خير